Hi, my name is Michael, a lead technician here at Mechanique, and today we're going to be talking about tires. First thing that we're going to talk about today is our tire information. So for the first thing that we'll be talking about today is our DOT number that's on our tire. For the first couple here, this is more of a manufacturer code, basically where it was made and whatnot. But this 4-digit at the end is something that's very important. It's basically telling us that this tire was made at the 51st week of 2019. The next thing on our tire is our load rating. Our max load is at 750 kilograms or 1653 pounds. Also telling us our max pressure, that it should not be overinflated by 50 psi. And our other thing that we're going to be checking on our tire is our whole tire size and speed rating. So if you look here, we have 245 40R 19. 245 is our width of our tire. The 40 is the sidewall depth, and the 19 is the actual size of the rim that's going to be mounted on. The R is our speed rating. And the other important information that we're going to have here is our tire size. So our 245 40R 19. The 245 is our width of the tire, the 40 is our aspect ratio, and the 19 is our tire diameter. Now for the most important part of our tire is going to be our size. We got a 245 40R 19. 245 being the width of the tire, 40 being the aspect ratio of the tire, and the 19 being the tire diameter. We also have our speed rating here of 98H. So as you can see, this is a used tire, and I'll be going over as the reasons why you would be recommending and replacing a new tire. As you can see here, your wear bar is almost flush with your tread, and anything below 3 is no good and it will not perform as well as it should. We have exactly 30 seconds. You also want to watch out for cupping and feathering of the sidewalls as an alignment issue or suspension issue is happening. Also weather cracking that can happen in between the tread, which is very dangerous. As you can see here, we have severe cracking happening here in between the tread. Once this gets old enough of age and weather happening with cold and hot, this will separate and can actually cause the tire to explode. We'll also be looking at the sidewall to see if there's any punctures in the cordage or if any bubbling is happening, which could cause it also to explode. So on our sidewall here, if you have any bubbling that's happening, it's not repairable at all. If you have also any puncture that's happening in the cordage of the sidewall, it's unfortunately not repairable. I'll now be taking you into tire repair. Hi, so in this video we're going to be showing you how to take off the tire and mount it back on safely. First step we're going to be doing is getting our impact gun and removing the bolts. Circular pattern is fine. Tool down. You want to make sure your area is clean when dropping the tire so it doesn't bounce everywhere and hit yourself or somebody else for that matter. You'll just grab your tire like so and bounce it to absorb the impact with the rim facing up so there's no damage to the rim. So now we're going to safely pick up this tire and put it back on the car. And what we want to do is use our legs and not our back. So we'll squat down and grab our rim. Mount it to its wheel studs once we line it up. And what I like to do is line it up and center it and put a little bit of pressure on the bottom. And one at a time I can put my lug nuts on. Once I have that, I will tighten them in a sequence of a star pattern. Always across. As technicians, we have to take tires off every day, and one of the most important steps is to re-torque these tires. You don't want to be taking someone's life by not torquing them. My car, for example, is at 100 foot-pounds. You want to refer to your torque chart to see what kind of spec your car takes. As you torque it down, you're going to want to hear a click, like so. You do it again in a star pattern. 5 times, or it's how many lug nuts you have. And I'll do a run around just to make sure. No car should ever leave Mécanique without being retorqued. Hi, my name is Michael, a lead technician here at Mécanique. Today we're going to be talking about tire repair. Some of the things you should be looking for is when you fill up the tire, use soap and water, and any sort of bubbling that's going to be happening, you'll know you have a leak. It could be coming from the rim with corrosion, or it could be a severe puncture. When we check it out on our tire here, we have a very small pinhole of a puncture that had bubbled out. We also have a major puncture where it cannot be repaired, and therefore the tire would have to be replaced. So as you can see here, this is our most common kind of puncture, is just a nail in between our width of the tire. If you got anything at the corner or at the sidewall, it's definitely not repairable anymore. So in order for me to fix this, I want to mark it so I know exactly where it is, because once I pull this out, it could be harder to see. I'll just take my side cutters here and pull out our nail like so. Now that that's done, we have a few tools that we can use. This is the tire reamer, so we can make the hole in bigger. A lot of guys like to use cement just to kind of lube it up. But what I'll do in this instance is I will actually use a drill, which is right here. Now that I got my drill, we're just going to go to the mark that we have, the nail, and I'm going to drill it through. Good to go a couple times. And now that that's done, we're going to be able to prep it from the inside and patch it from there. All right, so before we do our repair, we have a couple tools that we're going to be using. One is our tire scraper, our patch roller, we've got a repair sealer, a vulcanizing cement, and our patch. So now that we've located our hole in the inside, we're going to have to smooth out the surface in order for the patch to stick on an even surface, because if you could see these ridges, it'll give us a gap and it won't seal. So I'll use my grinder here. And you basically just want to get the diameter of the patch. So as you can see, just a little more here and we're good to go. Now with that done, so now that we've grinded it down into a smooth surface, you want to grab your scraper and just scrape all of this extra tire out so it's not in the way of our repair. Just another little grind. And now you can apply your cement. Once that cement dries, what I would like to do is just put this tire patch, a little bit of cement on it, and now that that's done, feed this through. And if you can see on the other side, so now that we've cleaned it up, or we fed our patch through, we're gonna just get it all the way out so we know that it's sealed really well. You can take a look on the inside, make sure it's almost flush. What we can do now is look in the inside and our final steps. So now we're going to use our patch roller and make sure that the whole patch is sitting flush on that surface area that I've cleaned up and grinded down. If you notice that there's a thin layer of plastic there, we have to take that off. So I'll use my pocket screwdriver. I like to start from the center and just work my way. And our final step will now be to use the repair sealer, which is basically just a black rubber compound. and this tire is good to go. Now for some things to look out for when you're doing tire repairs is if customers have driven the tire when it's low, on the inside of the sidewall you'll notice to see the cords showing on the side. That basically shows you that the tire is already done. You cannot repair anymore. You let your service advisor know and you stop from there. Also, when you're doing the patch, when you're prepping it with the cookie, you don't want to go too much to the part where you see steel thread, because now you've just weakened the strength of the tire and you have to replace the tire again.